Namaskar, this is Shivangi Mukherjee and welcome to yet another episode of Bharat, The Forgotten Chapters. 15th August 1947. The rest of Bharat was celebrating freedom. But in Hyderabad, there were no celebrations. There was fear. While Delhi was witnessing the birth of a new nation, Hyderabad's ruler, the Nizam, had a very different dream. He didn't want to join India. He wanted Hyderabad to become an independent Muslim state backed by a constitutional monarchy, right in the heart of the Indian Union. And according to Indian records and several historical accounts, he was quietly preparing for something even bigger, a war against India. This is the forgotten story of Operation Polo and how Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel prevented India from facing another Pakistan within its own borders. Before independence, Hyderabad wasn't just today's Telangana. It covered nearly 2.14 lakh square kilometers, stretching across present-day Telangana, parts of Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Around 85% of its population was Hindu. Only about 15% was Muslim. It was ruled by Nizam Mir Osman Ali Khan. The Nizam wasn't just powerful, he was extraordinarily wealthy. In 1937, Time magazine reportedly described him as the richest man in the world, with wealth estimated at almost 2% of America's GDP. He had his own currency, his own railway, his own army, even his own postal system. And thanks to decades of loyalty to the British Crown, he enjoyed a uniquely privileged relationship with the British Empire. For years, the British had rewarded Hyderabad's loyalty through an appeasement policy that allowed Nizam's enormous autonomy. So when Britain decided to leave India, it made one decision that changed history. Instead of forcing princely states to join India or Pakistan, Lord Mountbatten's plan allowed them to remain independent if they wished. And the Nizam immediately seized that opportunity. But there was one problem. Hyderabad wasn't on the border. It sat right in the middle of India. An independent country inside India would have become a permanent strategic nightmare. The Nizam wasn't alone. His biggest supporter was Qasim Razvi, the leader of the Razakars and president of the Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin or MIM. Under Razvi's leadership, the Razakars unleashed widespread violence across Hyderabad. Villages were attacked, passengers travelling on trains were looted, communal killings increased. Large sections of Hyderabad's Hindu majority lived constantly in fear. This violence also triggered another conflict. In Telangana, communist peasants launched an armed rebellion against the feudal rule of the Nizam. The Telangana rebellion emerged as a response to the oppression of the landlords and the Razakars. Although it opposed the Nizam's rule, it too descended into violence, leaving Hyderabad trapped between multiple armed conflicts. The Nizam also had the support of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who, as we know, was the founding father of Pakistan. Pakistan encouraged Hyderabad to keep resisting India. According to historical accounts, Pakistan assured the Nizam that if war broke out, all Muslims would stand with Hyderabad. The Nizam believed those promises, so much so that he sent Pakistan £1 million, expecting political and military backing in return. Meanwhile, secret arms shipments began arriving from Karachi through Australian pilot Sidney Cotton. Alongside being a pilot, Cotton worked as an arms dealer. Cotton flew a 30-member crew with him and transferred arms from Karachi to Bidar, Charminar and Arangal, all parts of Hyderabad. The Nizam was quietly preparing for an armed confrontation with India. Back in Delhi, India's leadership was divided. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was insistent on taking a Gandhian approach to the issue of Hyderabad, even in the face of an armed Nizam against Bharat. Governor General Lord Mountbatten also believed negotiations should continue. Mountbatten even suggested a plebiscite, that is a public vote, to determine the fate of Hyderabad and its people. But the Nizam rejected it immediately. He knew the numbers. With nearly 85% of Hindus, Hyderabad's people were overwhelmingly likely to choose India. So the vote never happened. Negotiations dragged on, but Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel saw what others refused to accept. Every passing day gave the Nizam more time to arm himself. He tried to take help from foreign countries to arm Hyderabad. When New Delhi got to know, it entered into a diplomatic dialogue with London to stall such shipments. Then one day, history changed almost overnight. On June 21, 1948, Lord Mountbatten left India. The strongest advocate of continued negotiations was gone. Then came an even bigger turning point. On 11 September 1948, Muhammad Ali Jinnah died. The Nizam suddenly lost his biggest cheerleader. Pakistan itself entered political uncertainty. Although Pakistan's Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan considered intervening on Hyderabad's behalf, but his defense ministers refused. Pakistan simply wasn't in a position to fight India. Given as a newly formed state, it had its own troubles to deal with. Now, Patel recognized that opportunity immediately. So just 2 days later, on 13 September 1948, Patel launched Operation Polo. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel made one brilliant diplomatic move. He refused to call it a war. Instead, he described it as a police action. That single phrase made it difficult for Britain or the United Nations to classify Hyderabad as an international conflict. Even after the Nizam appealed to the United Nations seeking intervention, no meaningful international action followed. The operation itself was commanded by Major General J.N. Chaudhary, whose Western Strike Forces advanced from Solapur, while Major General Ajit Rudra led the Eastern Column advancing from Vijayawada. Additional Indian columns moved in from the north and south, surrounding Hyderabad from all possible points. The first major battle took place at the Nal Durg Fort, located on the Solapur-Secunderabad highway. After defeating Nizam's forces there, the Indian army pushed nearly 61 kilometers into Hyderabad's territory within just a few hours, breaking one of the state's strongest defensive positions. From that point on, the campaign moved forward with remarkable speed. Despite having nearly 2 lakh Razakars and around 24,000 Hyderabad state troops, the Nizam's forces were no match for India's well-coordinated force of just about 36,000 Indian soldiers. Within 5 days, Hyderabad's military resistance collapsed. On 17 September 1948, the Nizam surrendered. Hyderabad officially became part of India. Today, 17 September is commemorated by many as Hyderabad's Liberation Day, marking the end of the Nizam's rule and Hyderabad's integration into the Indian Union. Operation Polo ended the military conflict, but its political legacy continues even today. After Operation Polo, the Nizam of Hyderabad lost his absolute power and transitioned into a ceremonial role, serving as the Raj Pramukh or the head of state of Hyderabad until it was dissolved in 1956. Qasim Razvi, on the other hand, was arrested after Hyderabad's surrender and sentenced to prison for his role in the Razakar movement. After serving 9 years, he was released in 1957 on only one condition: he had to leave India. Pakistan granted him asylum, no surprise there, but before leaving, Razvi handed over the leadership of the Majlis-e-Ittehad Muslimin (MIM) to Maulana Abdul Wahid Owaisi. Over the decades, the party evolved into today's All India Majlis-e-Ittehad Muslimin or AIMIM, currently led by Asaduddin Owaisi. The party does not observe 17 September as Hyderabad's Liberation Day. Instead, it refers to the occasion as National Integration Day. History often remembers India's independence on 15th August 1947. But India's unity wasn't secured in a single day. It took difficult decisions, political negotiations, and sometimes military action. Whether one agrees with every decision taken then or not, one fact remains undeniable. Had Hyderabad remained independent, the map of India would look very different today. And perhaps so would India's security. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's Operation Polo ensured that never happened. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.